is one of the things that are vital for the functioning of a computer. But before we probe into the differences between DDR3 and DDR4, we will look at what RAM is. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. RAM is a piece of hardware on which the operating system, the applications that are running, and the data which is currently being used are kept so that the processor can quickly reach it. RAM is kind of like your short-term memory. That is, random access memory is volatile. That means that data which is retained in the RAM is retained as long as the computer is on. But it is lost when the computer is turned off. When the computer is rebooted, the OS and other files are reloaded into the RAM, usually from an HDD or hard disk drive or from an SSD, which is the solid state drive. However, the solid state drive is much faster. We will talk about that in another video. So, coming back to the topic, RAM is the main memory in a computer, and it is much faster to read from and write to than other kinds of storage, such as a hard disk drive, solid state drive, or an optical drive. So, let's get to the DDR things. Those DDR things. Okay. DDR stands for double data rate. DDR3 SDRAM is the type of synchronous dynamic random access memory. This is abbreviated as SDRAM3. Sorry, not SDRAM3, SDRAM. There is no such thing called as SDRAM3. SDRAM is a type of DRAM or DRAM, which is dynamic random access memory that can run at much higher clock speeds than conventional memory. SDRAM actually synchronizes itself with the CPU's bus. SDRAM is the new memory standard for modern PCs. DDR3 its full form is Double Data Rate Type 3 SDRAM. Double Data Rate Type 3 SDRAM has a higher bandwidth interface and has been in use since 2007. DDR3 SDRAM is the highest speed successor to DDR and DDR2 and the predecessor to DDR4 synchronous dynamic random access memory or SDRAM chips. DDR3 is neither forward compatible or nor backward compatible with any earlier type of random access memory because of the different signaling voltages, timings, and other factors. So, let's talk about the more technical aspects of DDR3. The supply voltage for DDR3 SDRAM is from 1.35 volts to 1.5 volts. DDR3 DIMMs have 240 pins and are electrically incompatible with DDR2. A key notch located differently in DDR2 and DDR3 DIMMs or DIMMs prevents accidental interchanging of them. Not only are they keyed differently, but DDR2 has rounded notches on the side and DDR3 modules have square notches on the side. DDR3 and SODIMMs or SODIMMs have only 204 pins because they are smaller in size. DDR4 SDRAM, which is the latest RAM modules available, is an abbreviation for Double Data Rate 4th Generation Synchronous Dynamic Random Access Memory. It is a type of SDRAM with a high bandwidth interface. DDR4 is designed to replace DDR3, the previous DDR standard. Advantages include faster data transfer rates and larger capacities thanks to greater memory density and more memory banks, 16 rather than 8. DDR4 also operates at a lower voltage, 1.2 volts compared to 1.5 volts, so it is more power efficient. It also includes higher module density and lower voltage requirements coupled with higher data transfer rates. The DDR4 standard allows for DIMMs of up to 64 GB or gigabytes in capacity compared to DDR3's maximum of 16 gigabytes per DDIMM. Faster speeds and increased memory bandwidth allow DDR4 SDRAM to keep up with modern processors, including multi-core CPUs. This prevents the memory from being a bottleneck as processing speeds and bus speeds increase. DDR4 memory modules come in two primary form factors: DIMMs and SODIMMs. DIMMs are generally used for desktop towers, which is smaller, while smaller SODIMMs are designed for laptops and all-in-one desktop computers. DDR4 DIMMs are the first to have a curved bottom edge, which makes it easier to insert them into and remove them from RAM slots on a motherboard. This and the unique position of a notch between the pins make it impossible to insert a DDR4 chip into an incompatible slot. Now, to summarize, we have a table. DDR4 has a 64 GB maximum capacity per memory module. Common capacities include 16 GB and 32 GB. The data transfer rates for DDR4 is 1600 Mbps to 3200 Mbps. 1.2 volts of electric power are required. 288 pins in a regular DIMM or DIMM and 260 pins in a SODIMM. The prefetch buffer is 8 bits in a DDR4, and in a DDR3, the DDR3 standard allows for chip capacities of 512 megabits to 8 gigabits. That is 512 MB to 8 GB. DDR3 memory supports maximum data transfer rates at 6400 Mbps. 1.5 volts of electric power are required for a DDR3 to function. 240 pins in a regular DIMM and 260 pins are in a SODIMM. The prefetch buffer is 16 bits. Sorry, I interchanged them. What sort of fool am I? DDR4 has a prefetch buffer of 16 bits, and the DDR3 has a prefetch buffer of 8 bits. Sorry, it's my mistake. Okay. To summarize, to give a final verdict, you know what? DDR3 and DDR4 don't really matter. I mean, both are literally in the same, basically perform at the same level. Okay. To prove this, I'm going to display some of the gameplays at very high graphics in 1920 at 1080p. I have tested 3 games. Okay, you know what? I took a video from some other guy. I will link the channel in the description. He has shown some gameplay benchmarks, so that would provide the final verdict of whether DDR3 is faster or DDR4 is faster. Obviously, DDR4 has a slight notch above the DDR3, but generally, to be speaking and practically, both perform in the same range. So there is practically no difference between DDR3 and DDR4. Thank you guys for watching this video.
I'm going all out. Just don't get too carried. Sure want to talk.
If you like this video, subscribe, like, comment, and you know what to do, and hit the bell button, right? See you later.